I just love it when the gardens really start to put on a show. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today I'm out at our Waterfall Garden, which was the final garden to be planted up this year. And I'm so excited to show you the various plants that we used in this garden. A lot of beautiful annuals. There's certain annuals we just use every year, but we kind of tried to shake the color up a little bit this year. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what we planted this year around the Waterfall Garden. Every year when we plant this garden bed up, we think, "Wow, what could we have done different? What do we love? And what should we change up for the following year?" So this year, we think we've nailed it. We'll see. August is always that sure tell time of year that tells you that either you nailed it or you didn't. But what we did this year is, like we have in many years in the past, we've lined the waterfall bed with sun patiens. We've got these beautiful bright pink sun patiens, and if you'll notice all those beautiful chartreuse shrubs in the background, those are the spirea, really beautiful green. And then also there is some of that lime-time coleus, which I think that foliage is just really added pop of color up against the beautiful sun patiens. We also planted some of the cordial cherry begonias, beautiful dark black foliage, really rich red color. The thing I like with these cordial cherry begonias is that they've got such nice glossy foliage. And I know typically you don't think of planting reds and pinks together, but there's just something I think about planting red and pinks together that gives kind of a really pretty and unique look. Lining the waterfall, we lined it up and down with the pink sun patiens as well. So that's going to create a really nice framing look to the two falls. The center of this bed is always a little bit tricky, and that's because it's either really dry or really wet. If the waterfall kind of springs a weird trail and goes down the middle, these plants get wet, but otherwise they tend to be very dry. So we planted the sun patiens in the middle, and we'll have to watch and see how they do. As long as we're keeping adequate moisture on them, they'll do fabulous. And then we lined the edges of them with the Euphorbia Diamond Frost. So that white with that bright pink, I think is going to look really great as the summer goes on. Up there at the top of the waterfall, we've done the Suncredible sunflowers, and those are going to look fabulous once they start to bloom with the really beautiful yellow flowers. Last year we did a lot of kind of mixy-matchy of colors, and this year we tried to do a little bit more with the color blocking. Up front here we have more of that lime-time coleus along with the torchlight coleus. There's some begonia surefire white, more Euphorbia diamond frost, and then Argyratum artist blue. So these are going to be really the plants that we're going to see kind of scattered throughout in the waterfall bed. I apologize, it's really windy today, and we are standing out here by the road where the traffic just whips past. So every once in a while you might hear some semis as they go blaring past. The Nepeta is looking really great right now. This is Nepeta Cat's Meow, and we did kind of a little mass planting of that there. The reason we like the Nepeta Cat's Meow is because that blooms all summer long. So we'll always kind of have this nice purple just blowing in the breeze. And if we feel like they do start to slow down a little bit, we'll go ahead and give them a light trim, and they'll be back to flowering again in no time. As we made the transition around the waterfall and heading to the front here of this landscape bed, you'll see all of the plants that I just mentioned being used. So we've got the coleus torchlight, we've got the coleus lime-time, surefire white begonias, Argyratum blue, Euphorbia diamond frost, and of course continuing along with those hot pink sun patiens. The coleus are planted in the back because they are going to get nice and tall. Begonias are kind of the second tallest, and then of course the sun patiens in the front because that's that massive color we're going for. In this bed here, this little area, we do have it lined with the Pennisetum rubrum grass, which is that dark burgundy grass, and that's going to continue to grow as the summer goes on and create kind of a backdrop to this garden bed. Behind it, the green wispy plant you're seeing, those are Going Bananas daylilies. And just behind those are the butterfly bush blue chip junior. So the blue chip junior are only going to be able to be seen from the inside of this garden once everything grows and gets mature. We'll take a closer look here at some of these annuals. On the end here of the island, this is a very mature plant of the Itea Little Henry, and Little Henry is starting to put on some of its flower buds. We'll go in for a closer look. Itea Little Henry does white bottle brush flowers that are fragrant in the spring. And the nice thing with Itea, it's one of those shrubs that is kind of what I like to call a twofer, meaning two interesting seasons. Spring with its white bottle brush flowers, and then again in the fall it gets fiery orangey red with beautiful fall foliage. Making our way around the island bed, the waterfall bed, we're seeing a blast of color, and that is dianthus. We use a lot of the Paint the Town dianthus in our gardens and in our landscapes because they create such a beautiful mass of color, and they're also fragrant. These are reblooming dianthus. So in the spring, you're going to get the most prolific blooms like we're seeing now. And in the summer, we're going to get repeat blooms, maybe not quite as full of flower as we're seeing now, but any perennial that gives us a repeat bloom, I like to say, is bonus. Argyratum. Look at that beautiful plant. Rod calls these grandma plants or old people plants. I don't know. I don't agree with them. They're starting to grow on me. They've been growing on me for years. I really love how they look in the landscape. Some more of the Paint the Town. So I believe this is Paint the Town Magenta and Paint the Town Fancy. Baptisia are starting to bloom as well. We've got the Decadence Cherry, which is kind of a reddish yellow. Baptisia Lemon Meringue, Decadence Lemon Meringue, and I'm seeing Giant Bumblebee enjoying it right now. I think of all of the Baptisia, this Decadence Lemon Meringue is probably my favorite just because I think it's the most vibrant of colors. This is also fun to show you. So we planted a bunch of Alstroemerias last year. These are zone 7 and zone 8. We are located in a zone 5, and look at here, they're blooming. So these we call bonus flowers because we planted something that wasn't in our hardiness zone, but it's giving us the bonus of blooms the next year. I've noticed that in my home garden too, that even though they're zone 7 or 8, they have been coming back now for 3 years. Diamond Frost Euphorbia with the torch-like coleus behind it. Another Decadence, I think this is dark chocolate. Baptisia, beautiful chocolatey brown, little hint of purple flowers there. Paired really nicely with more of that Paint the Town dianthus. Making our way, we're getting some of the profusion salvia. This one is actually purple profusion, and the honeybees are going absolutely crazy today. It's so fun to watch. Planted behind them is another lemon meringue Baptisia. Doesn't that look so bright, so vibrant, that color pattern with the pinks, the purples, and that yellow? I just love how those colors are all playing so well together. So we've got white profusion salvia. And as I mentioned, the purple profusion. And then the fuchsia is bright, is the pink there in the background. Blueberry Sunday Baptisia just starting, a little bit further behind the others. More of those annuals that I said we'd be finding kind of splattered throughout the garden, kind of just filling in open and empty spaces. In the back here, we've got the pink truffles Baptisia just starting to open, really faint. So this is the week I need to get out to Walter's Gardens and visit their Baptisia because I want to make sure I get them when they're in their prime. Under our arbor here, we've got more of the surefire white begonias, more of the dianthus, the Paint the Town. It's just a great little plant to kind of tuck into just small little spaces. There, we got some more on this side as well. Making our way along the back, continuing. This is going to be a bunch of color once the hydrangeas start blooming. These are pretty much all hydrangeas we're seeing. Smooth hydrangeas and panicle hydrangeas. Another Baptisia blooming. Decadence dark chocolate. Even the pollinators are enjoying that as well. More salvia. The term busy bees is definitely apparent today, just watching these pollinators as they're enjoying all of these beautiful flowers. Vista bubblegum petunia. No garden is complete with at least a couple of the Vista bubblegum. This is actually our top selling annual that we sell, and the number is just incredible how many we ship or sell out of our store every year. More salvia. Got the Weigela blooming as well. This is the Weigela Sonic Bloom Pink. This is a reblooming Weigela. Beautiful pink blooms. There's also a red one, a white one, a soft pink one. So this does come in various colors. Green foliage, but flowers throughout the summer. This plant has been known to bloom up 3 to 4 times depending on where you live and how long your season is. Here in Michigan, we get up to 3 bloom cycles off of this one plant. Just a beautiful plant, and any plant that does a rebloom is a little extra special to me in my garden. Just look at that coverage of all those beautiful pink flowers. This is a great plant for the pollinators as well, hummingbirds specifically. Anything with that tubular flower is going to be something that the hummingbirds are attracted to. Another mass planting here of salvia, the pinks, the whites, the purples. It's so pretty when these start blooming in the garden. So we've just about made our way all the way around the garden. We're going to hop inside the middle and see what's blooming there in just a moment. But we're going to continue around so you can get the full 360 view of this garden space. Here's the Heaven Sent Jacob's Ladder. This was in its prime a couple weeks ago. Right now, though, it's still blooming with its beautiful periwinkle blue blooms. Nice texture, even when it's not flowering in the garden. Look at that chartreuse of the spirea. So pretty. The glossy foliage of the cherry cordial. We'll go in for a closer look so you can just see the glossiness here on these plants. It just shimmers in the sunshine. Lime Time Coleus looking pretty nice. So pretty. All right, let's go ahead into the middle of this garden and see what's blooming. Some people have guard dogs, other people have guard ducks, geese. I don't know what this is. This comes from that farm over in the background. There's 5 of these guys right now that hang out in our gardens, and they are very vocal when people get anywhere near them. Cute to see in the garden, but also slightly annoying as well because they don't like it when we go in their territory. Here's a view from the top of the garden looking down. We're at the top of the waterfall now, and you can see all of these credible sunflowers that are planted. Obviously right now they're not looking like much, but when they get to be about 3 foot tall or so and are just loaded with beautiful yellow blooms, it's going to look really stunning in this garden space this summer. So you can see in the center there how we planted the sun patience in the middle and have it all nicely edged with Euphorbia Diamond Frost. So we don't have a lot of shade in this garden, so we utilize what we can, and we've got this shade tree here, so we've planted a few things under here that are for more shady spaces. We've got some Euphorbia Bonfire, which is done with its flower. There's some more salvia kind of planted under here. They're a little yellow, and that's because the roots of this tree are kind of pulling any nutrients from this garden, so they could benefit from a little bit of fertilizer right now. This giant Ligularia is Ligularia tractor seat, and I think it's because the leaves are so large, they look like a tractor seat. We can see that that's a little bit thirsty as well. Again, being planted under the tree, the tree kind of takes up the water. Here's the back side of that border with those blue chip junior butterfly bush I was mentioning earlier. Those are going to be really pretty once they start to bloom. Another one of the Sonic Bloom Pink Weigela, and you can see all the beautiful pink blooms on this plant. So this plant will get about 4 to 5 foot tall and about 5 or so foot wide. Blooms off of the new growth, so you don't have to worry about when you trim it. But a lot of vibrant blooms. Baptisia. Here's a beautiful lupin blooming. I love lupin in the garden. This one was recently planted, so there's only one stalk or one flower. But as that matures and grows, it's going to continue to put on more flowers. It's also kind of pretty to see the garden center from this aspect. So Garden Crossings is a local garden center located in Zeeland, Michigan. We also have our online store, gardencrossings.com, where you can where we'll ship plants directly to your door. And if you're ever in the area, we welcome you to walk through our signature garden. Garden Crossings was designated a Proven Winner Signature Garden in 2023. And it's been quite an honor for us, and we're just excited to be able to showcase all of these beautiful annuals and perennials and shrubs. We call it our living catalog. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I always love to get your questions. If there's any plants that you're wondering what they are, I can definitely answer that as well. Just tell me the time you saw them in the video. We will try to put links to some of the more popular or more flowerful plants that were blooming in today's video down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.